All right, well, we always love to judge parents, don't we? It's just so much fun. Are they being a good parent or are they being a bad parent? Well, Kristen Bell was on with Kelly Clarkson on her show talking about something that they get judged for when they are in public. Her young children drinking beer. Here she is explaining it.
My kids have ordered non-alcoholic beers at restaurants before.
Like a buck.
Which sounds insane if you don't know, because context is important. We've learned that over the last few years.
Yeah.
So like my husband and I, when we walked the babies at night in our neighborhood, when my daughter was really little, he is a recovering addict, but he likes non-alcoholic beer. So he'd pop one open, he'd have her on his chest and we'd walk and like look at the sunset. So as a baby, she was like pawing at it. And sometimes she would like suck on the rim of it. Yeah. So I think it feels to her like something special, something daddy,
and
something family.
It.
So we've been at restaurants where she said, do you have any non-alcoholic beer? And I'm like, maybe we don't. We just keep that for home.
It's so amazing when in your own family you're like, this is normal, but then you go outside and you're like, so that maybe doesn't track as healthy.
Right. But then I'm also sort of like, you can judge me if you want. I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, that's your problem.
Yeah, that's your, yep, that's on you.
Okay, so what do you think about that? Is there a problem with having young kids drinking non-alcoholic beer?
I mean, how she's explaining it doesn't seem that bad to me, but what do I know? My dad gave me beer when I was little, and now I love beer. So, Kevin, ask Jay Bird.
I don't have kids. I'm not really allowed to answer stuff about kids. Kevin gets long emails when I do.
I just think that, like, I don't know, is it that big of a deal? If it's got no alcohol in it and normalizing it, I think is
the only
fine.
Only argument you're gonna get is this making the kid? It's like, is it training wheels for future beer? Are you training your kid to want the taste of beer?
That would be the argument, is that you get a taste for it, and so as you get older. But
in other countries, like kids that grow up in like France or Italy, like they give them a little wine with dinner here and there. Like,
and it's full alcohol, and it's got a lot more concentration of alcohol, higher percentage than the beer does.
I don't know. I'm sure the jury would be split right down the middle.
I think it is.
People are going to argue about this one, but I think there's so many other things that you can like be upset about. If there's no alcohol in this beer, like, it doesn't seem that big of a deal to me.
Well, right now in the KVJ TV chat on YouTube, you can go in there and give us your thoughts on that. Do you have a problem with kids drinking non-alcoholic beer? Almost 100 votes in. 58% said yes, they do have a problem with kids drinking non-alcoholic beer. 43% say no.
They probably think it's normalizing it a bit.
I would think that is it. And there is the one argument that I think there is even a scotch, a small percentage of alcohol in non-alcoholic beer. It's not necessarily 0%.
So non-alcoholic beer actually has alcohol again?
It's a small, it's just over it's nothing to really register anything. You'd probably have to drink 80 to get a buzz, but, you know. One comment that was texted in from the 772. It says, when I was in my late teens, I remember that we would have crab feast once a year with the whole family. And my father would tell me, if you would like some beer with your crab, you can have some. And I would respond, well, I'm too young. And he's like, look, as long as you're sitting eating crab, it's okay to have just a little bit of beer. They go so well together. And so my parents would let me drink beer. But today I have a 10 and a 4-year-old, and I could not imagine either of them drinking at the age of 16.
Everybody's going to parent different. And I think you have to decide what is acceptable in your house, what you're cool with, what your vibe is. That's a big part of Kristen and Dax's life. Like, she is very much, vocal and supportive of his sobriety, and they talk about it a lot. And his drinking non-alcoholic beer is a big thing, and so that's what these kids know. And who am I to judge?
It is crazy though how in different countries there's different stances on alcohol, nudity. And we have certain hang-ups because that's what we know over here.
Right.
Yeah, who's doing it right?
It's just what I think it's what you're raised with.
I do too, and look, for me, I'm not going to look south on. I try really my hardest not to judge other parents, and so look, I don't think it's going to do any kind of irreparable harm to the child. And this is a good point, too. Somebody texted in from the 561. They said, hey, we get kids Shirley Temples, and you get them pina coladas that are virgin. There's really no alcohol in that. What's the difference between a kid drinking one of those beverages? It does condition you to later on in life. Oh, I just love the taste of pina coladas and Shirley Temples, and eggnog even. Will do that. And so, is there any difference between non-alcoholic beer and any of those?
No,
I don't think so.
No, it's weird when people have hang-ups on.
That's a good point.
Okay. Just my thought. Do love your feedback. He's texted into us 877-979-WRMF, 877-979-9763 here at the KVJ Show.